and a 1, and boom, and we're on, and it is welcome to the second Charity Jamboree. Here we are. What is a Charity Jamboree is the question that, if not on your lips, might be somewhere in your minds. So the Charity Jamboree is I'll give you a screen share for the people who are out there in the cloud. We're joined today actually by, we've got a couple of Agile venture developers and also by Priyanka, who's in California. And but more on why are there this strange combination of online and offline things going on. So the Charity Jamboree is a sort of mixed concept for Agile Ventures, which is a charity that puts learning developers together with charities to help them solve their IT problems and have them develop real-world skills, and Makers Academy, just the best boot camp. Wouldn't you agree, Makers Academy students? Yeah. Yes, I mean, if not only in Europe, maybe even in the whole world. I've been told I shouldn't get too excited, so I'll try and calm myself down. But so, you know, for a while now, Agile Ventures has been running as a charity, and we've had, you know, been working with various sort of charities around the world. We have examples, for example, the Harrow Community Network, which is you know, a charity in Northwest London. This is a big directory of different other non-profit groups in that area. And so, for example, these are all different contributors from around the world who've put their time in voluntarily to work together on building, that was a Rails 4 project, to build the system. And all these people, none of them ever met in person. All done pair programming online, remotely through Google Hangouts, polishing their real-world job skills and building things, you know, that are useful for charities, and sort of practicing the whole agile process of development. And so that's been going on for a while, and there's a number of different projects there. Maybe talk more about those in a bit. Makers Academy is a boot camp where you study very intensely over 12 weeks to become a web developer, and the final 2 weeks involve a project. And something we introduced 6 weeks ago was this idea of the Charity Jamboree, where some of those projects might be with outside charities. And so 5-6 weeks ago, we had, I think it was 5 different charity groups come in and pitch their ideas, and 2 of them were selected by students. And sort of to try and make it more concrete this time about how this actually works, I think we're going to start with presentations from those two of the groups, like what was actually done for the charities, and then we're going to move on to having some more other charities pitch their new ideas. So I'm going to start with Rich, and I think we've got a slide deck for you here, which we can press. Is there a play button? Present. Yeah. All right.
Quick time, is that already on the?
It is already on the. It's on the computer. Do I need to go and find it?
Yes, let's check it up in the background.
Okay. Yes. So we've got that documents. Look up demo. That's there the one. Get that ready to go for you. All right. So that's the demo. And yeah. So Rich, tell us about what you did for the chat which is this 1010.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 1010 are a charity that deal with promoting the use of community energy and sort of natural resource energy. And they came to us with an idea to create an app that would make it very easy for a new kind of demographic of people, who are a sort of younger demographic, more tech savvy, to get involved in setting up community energy and find out more about sort of how available solar power now is to people. Because traditionally, I think that's more the sort of ground of an older population. So they wanted to create an app that would make it really easy for anyone to just spot a site that they think might be really good for sort of a large amount of solar power, and then assess how good that would be based on a number of metrics for what a good roof would be for solar power. So they told us about that to begin with in our first meeting. They sort of said that you need ideally a very large roof made of strong materials to hold the solar panels. It needs to be south-facing to catch most of the sun during the day, and they also needed a number of other metrics as well. They needed some information about where the roof was and the name of the people that were connecting it, and some the emails as well, so then they could map all of that data in a later app. So they had some ideas about how they wanted that collected, but they essentially left it up to us. So we initially created a very simple sort of page-to-page structure, which sort of loaded everything as it's happening, which is a bit slow. And since then we've carried on working with them, and we've created a sort of single-page app that does all of the request data in the background, so it's much more like a native app would be. So I'll just do a quick run through of that. So we've got our start page here. So as soon as you click that button at the bottom, it asks you to allow access for your geolocation. And you've got a number of, sorry, this is in another language due to the iPhone I used earlier to record this, but there's a number of information steps here just telling you about what you're doing, and then you move on to a bearing page, which is telling you which way the roof is facing. So if you're facing north, you shouldn't be. It tells you to go around and face south, and then you can capture that bearing there. You then select whether you've got a flat roof or a sloped roof. So we're going to select a sloped roof, and then you can use the camera's gyroscope. You aim it at the angle of the roof, and it will capture that angle for you. And then we access the cameras on the camera on the phone directly through the web. Use the photo, then the photo is zipped off to Amazon Web Services asynchronously, and you go on to select your type of roof there. So you've got eight options. A bit in progress, but you sort of say how much shade might cover the roof during the day, and then you go onto this the map page. So it centers on your geolocation here, and you've got these 3 points to measure two sides of the map, two sides of your roof, sorry, and then we use that data to calculate the area of the roof, and then how many panels it will hold, and the capacity that can generate, which is all shown here. So you've got the panels at the top, the power, the materials, the shade, the angle, and then a form at the bottom to have all of that information sent on to you. And then that will go through to an app that we might be helping them build, which is going to be like a map web app as well to map all of those different sites. So let me just go back here. So we built a movie with Snap. And we used quite a lot in the end for our single page app, quite a lot of JavaScript and jQuery on the front end to get the lead projects. And we managed to test drive sort of most of the app. The two bits we found really difficult are the map page with the points, because it's all about sort of your touch recognition on the phone, and also the getting the camera to pop up, because that's Cucumber can't really take pictures, obviously, and the file upload doesn't really work when you're hiding the form to make it look more streamlined, so that was quite difficult, but the majority we could test that. So yeah, I would really recommend doing this, doing something like this as your final project. I think one thing about Makers is it's amazing what it does, and you get really into that bubble of learning everything. This sort of helps get out that as a way of doing that, and sort of testing how your work stands up in the real world is brilliant. And our app's going to be sent out to a lot of people to test in the next 2 weeks, so we'll get a pretty great idea of whether it actually works and what we can do to change it. So yeah. Awesome.
Just going to pull up there, Richard. You were showing the client prototypes, you were getting feedback, you were getting the experience of sort of a really integrated development process with the client.
Yeah, we saw them every sort of 3 days, and we regularly deployed to Heroku to show them what we were doing so they could see it each day.
Fantastic. Great stuff. Right, and if that wasn't enough, we have another one. Another one. Let's hear about that from Chris. So Chris, we've got now I think it's a keynote here. Should we start with this? And it's got the videos built. The videos built in. Right. So let's hear that. Yeah.
Okay. We did a project for charity Student Stop AIDS. They're an offshoot of a long-established Stop AIDS charity, which has been running for about 27 years, I think. They're not just interested in HIV and AIDS, but they're interested in the political issues around it, so including policies on poverty and drug policy, and quite a lot of some progressive political issues. But they were concerned that students don't have a very high voting participation rate, and they're also difficult to get engaged in the political process. So they wanted us to write a simple Q&A app that would allow students to choose questions off a list and submit those to MPs and then get notified of the answers. And the intention was that this would act as an icebreaker for engagement. That having had some gentle interaction with the MPs, the students would then be happier to go and engage more specifically on issues the charity was passionate about. So we made an application. This is a short video to cover it. So it was designed to be used on a phone. The idea is the student clicks through and enters a postcode. This then sends off a query to a remote API which gives a local candidates. And then they're presented with a list of questions. They can choose the questions off the list by clicking on the lock button. We spent quite a lot of time on the interface to make it look pretty. And they can click through to get different options. They can then enter their postcode for a reply and send it off. This goes into a database, and it's held until the MP's reply. The MP gets a Twitter message, which has a bit.ly link to the application, and they can then choose their replies of the application. And then when these are submitted, an email goes to the student notifying them that their questions have been answered. And then the student can go back to the application and then look up the answers on the phone. So it was designed to be able to. We had a large database of candidates that we managed to find on the internet and clean up and load in, and so it was designed to support 2,000 candidates, a list of questions, and a large number of students. So in order to support that, we had a Rails backend. This with a Postgres database, and this was communicating with the front end via an API interface. So we built an API interface for the Rails, and we kept the front end quite separate in sort of Angular. Initially, we had it on a different node server, but there are strong advantages to having both parts of the application running off the same server. So we moved it across. We were definitely testing all the sort of back-end functionality in Cucumber and doing unit tests in sort of RSpec. Sort of on the front end, we had some cassette tests, but the test coverage wasn't quite so complete. And we were using a number of sort of external services. They work for you. We're giving us the constituency data from the postcodes. We loaded in our own candidate data, but we also used bit.ly to shorten email addresses for the Twitter. We used Twitter to communicate with the candidates, and we used Mailgun to send out emails. Our test coverage was about 85%, and our total score was 3.3, which is not, yeah. So I think that's it. Any questions?
Claps and claps, yes. And so you also got to work closely with the client over the 2 weeks.
We had an initial meeting with them. Unfortunately, they weren't as available as Richard's clients for follow-up meetings. So we'd hoped to get them in to get kind of feedback on the whole process of the application, but she had to go away.
I think it was more remote communication that you had with her during the course of the thing, and that's
so Claire was communicating with her by email.
Any other questions for Chris? If not, let's move on. Oh, sorry.
Were there any points at which, I mean, obviously the real world was fine. Were there any points at which you thought, if it weren't for this client, I'd be taking this in a very different direction right now? Did you always?
The client had clear ideas of the interface and how the questions were going to be asked. So we had thought that you could present the questions to the students in a different way so that it was a bit clearer. But they had a rather clear idea of what they wanted, and presumably they know more about student political engagement than we do, because that's their bread and butter. So to that extent, we did give them what they asked for, even though we had some slightly different ideas as to what they wanted. But the advantage of having a prototype is you can kind of show it to them, and then they can come back and sort of say, no, that's not what I want. So I wouldn't say that was frustrating. It was slightly surprising, but that's the real world climate may have requirements that you don't fully understand. So the prototyping helps you to understand those.
Cool. Great stuff. Thank you, Chris. Wow. Yeah. So I mean, there we go. That was with the previous Jamboree. There was 2 weeks of work. Students fronted to work in teams of 4 or 5 and produced results like that. One possibility now, I think, is that conceivably there could be more work done on these projects, and if the students, rather than selecting a new project, wanted to build on the existing projects, then Chris and Rich are the people to speak to. So that's one new possibility. Yes. Oh, yes, Jim.
So when you are demonstrating your initial prototype, like, do you use your code or do you use like prototyping software, things like Hot App,
do you mean show them the app?
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
our clients weren't they wouldn't understand what they were looking at. We just showed them the code. So we just showed them, when we went to our meetings, we showed them where we got to by, either getting it up and local hosts like you would do if you were working in it here as you were coding, or pushing it to the Heroku, sending them the data set and see where you've got to.
And I think even you started, Rich, you started with using a tool like, I didn't think you used Balsamic, but you used kind of a sketching tool to draw what the interface might look like to get agreement about the kind of user experience flow before moving into coding.
We actually use Balsamic, but also just paper mock-ups. So we did show this with our trial 6 months back. So there's certainly benefit in doing that in the initial stages.
Yeah. Okay, and so we've got a couple of people who are here remotely via Google Hangouts. I think they're both from the Open IDEO system, which Will, who's the person who put us in touch with them, is off. They actually, I believe, Priyanka and Ivanel both won kind of competitions in terms of having got these very rigorous ideas. Priyanka, are you ready to present to us?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I put you on mute. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Here we go. Yeah, okay. Sorry, Priyanka. Say hello again.
Hi.
Oh, there we go. Right. I'll just turn you down slightly. You're on. There. People. Well, we can certainly hear you now. Yes. So, Priyanka. So we've got now like 25 students in the room and various people. I know you can't see them, but they can all see you on the big screen. It's very early in the morning in California for you. Thank you so much for getting up this early. If you'd like to tell us a bit about your project, you've got about 5 minutes. If you also want to tell us about Open IDEO as well, which I think is unfamiliar to most of us, and feel free to share your screen. And if you need links popped up, then I will try and assist you.
Yes, I think the links are pretty much open here, so I should just go ahead about it. Are you able to see my screen?
We are at the moment, because you've got the Hangout up. We're seeing the kind of infinite regress. So if you go back to the, I think you had your page from IDEO up. So if you go back to that page, I believe we'll be able to see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Open IDEO is a online open innovation platform where you can do a lot of innovative work. So, so how it works is, probably let me go to how it works. So how it works is there is some big question asked, like there is a very challenging question that is asked, and then you need to solve the problem using research, coming up with various ideas, and then you get lots of applause from various people in various parts of the world. And then finally, the IDEO team will help you in refinement, and then the evaluation, and then finally comes the winning ideas. The winning ideas are partially funded or fully funded, so it's really nice. And next is to bring an impact to that idea, like how are you making a difference using these ideas? That is the next level. And next, finally, is your entire design quotient will be estimated. So how it works is probably, let me just log in. So you just make a sign in, and I will just go to my profile. So everyone gets a profile wherein all your ideas will be displayed on one single page. And you can see the pie chart on the left side that measures your design quotient. So my design quotient is like some 2,000 odd points put together. So many ideas. I mean, this is a design platform just for ideators who want to come up with, different ideas or help people in collaborating with others. So,
sorry to interrupt you, Priyanka. I think it's fascinating. So this is just to reinforce that the Open IDEO. It's kind of like an open framework. People from around the world can kind of get support with developing ideas up to the level where they're quite refined and then can be taken to the next level. Is that a reasonable summary?
Yes. So this is how it works practically. There is a research phase, there is an idea phase, there's a feedback, refinement, a feedback again, and then there's an idea phase, and then comes an impact story. So this will go in the impact story. Whatever happens at the Makers Academy will go with the impact story. So coming to the winning ideas, I think these were the winning ideas. There were top 7 of them selected out of, say, 176 ideas and 256 odd, research ideas. So amongst the winning ideas was the 2 people who are present today. That is, one is from the Social Get Work, and the second one is from One Day Experience. So I think Eva is here to say more about One Day.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just dive into the Social Get Work. So what Social Get Work does is everything is put in here. So I would not go to a presentation. I was just trying to make a presentation, but I thought practically if I'm going to show how it works, it'll be more easier.
Mm-hmm.
So where you need to see is probably, let me open this video and just watch this video, whatever I've created. Welcome to the Social Network.
Yeah, I think you might need to talk over it, the video.
Yeah, I think I can talk about everything. So there is something called oneall.com wherein you get access to every social media possible with one login information. So we can use OneAll account, and I don't know how to figure that out, but if we can develop a platform for OneAll account, that would be great. So we need a one line access for all the social media, and next comes the loading page. Say there is a profile of the user, and as soon as he or she logs in, so there needs to be a lot of data analytics work that needs to take place before. So I've used something called Wolfram Alpha to analyze information at the background. So on the app, I think there will be more information like job fair, meetups, open data challenge, or something related to jobs, just portraying real jobs. So it's going to make a matchmaking between the social media as well as, the job opportunities out there. So as part of ads, as part of advertisements on the app, I think we need something like a skill builder. Maybe Makers Academy can go as an ad, which says, hey, you know what, if you get these skills, you may be able to do this job better. So it's going to be more relevant based, more relevant to the user. So it's going to help him in all ways to use the app. So this is how it works. And then you make a search again, and you share with everyone online. And then you come back every day to the app looking at it. So this is the advertisement of the app, the way it looks like, and this is Social Get Work. So this is one link, and we have a web page set up, and we were running an appathon, but that was not very successful, but I would not like to talk more about it. So if you go to the OpenIDEO page, you will be getting more information on how it actually works. So say this is the login page, like how I explained, and then you explain your interests, and then there are like few minutes away from your opportunity. So these are your opportunities that it needs to list down. So it's basically giving a lot of career opportunities for youth aged between 14 to 25, especially in helping them gain entry level to professional job. And then finally you browse again, and you display all the ads like coupons or some gamification items like discounts, reward points, so that it makes the student come back again and again, or a student or an entry-level professional come back again and again and see the app for more opportunity. So that's what the app does. And finally, he shares online, and then I have made some research. So this went on for 3 months. Everything was online, and it was open for people. So you can get more information on this. We have conducted some research on with 2 universities in the U.S. So and some of the major universities in India. So you can get more information on the downloads on the right with the user experience map, a user persona. So this is the research work, and you can see the user persona, what a student feels or what a professional feels about it. And next, you can see many FAQs here. So if you go to FAQs, you can, I mean, all kinds of questions are being answered here. So how can it be developed? How can it be, implemented? How can it be possible? Can something like this run? So there are a lot of questions being asked, and this is like a collaborative platform where you can ask a lot of questions, so you can collaborate on this team itself. So we can help other communities develop. So I mean, however you feel it is more convenient.
Thank you, Priyanka. It's I'm going to have to wrap you up there just because we've got sort of some time limits. I think that there's so much stuff there. I guess, as you're saying, that there's an existing design community that's been looking at designing this app. I guess the key problem definition was that they're trying to solve with this is that you're trying to address unemployment in the youth between 16 and 24. That's the key problem. If we frame the problem is, young people are, have trouble with employment around the world. And I remember what you were saying to me yesterday is that this is kind of a mobile app to appeal to young people that will aggregate all of the different jobs that are available from many, many different sources online is kind of the key vision there, right?
Yes. I would just say it's a one-stop mobile app for exploring a lot of career opportunities and pathways for youth who are especially using social media. It's just going to make a match between social media and getting work. So that's the reason it's called the Social Get Work.
Absolutely, wonderful. And I think what I was fascinated by yesterday is that you've already got kind of user stories and scenarios for people using it, which is exactly the thing that we ask our students to start with when they're doing the projects. So there's a lot of that work is already done for them, and you've got the design concept of the app.
All information on the right side.
Yeah, and I'll make sure that this link goes out to all of the students so they can get and see all of it. Fantastic, thank you, Priyanka. Now, and so then, so that was your idea that was one of the winners in the IDEO framework. But I guess we have Ivanel, who's also here, who was also one of the selected winners in the Open IDEO platform. Ivanel, are you able to tell us a bit more?
Hello, how are you? Can you listen to me?
We can hear you, but there's quite a lot of feedback.
Yeah, I'm so sorry about the complete noise, but I just have to get up of a meeting, and this is the most quiet place I can find. So sorry.
Well, that's all right. Well, if you're not in a position to present right now, we could go over to one of our people who's here. Why don't you get yourself into a position where you're able to present, and we'll come back to you. Okay. Sorry, I know it's going to be cruel to be kind sometimes. But so we've also got Helen is here in person. Thank you so much for these days. No one comes in person anymore. We really appreciate that. We're really getting around the world. Sorry, Ivanel. She's now. Ivanel, I'll just mute you until you're ready, if that's all right. Just bear with us for 5 minutes. So if we go and look, I believe we have a keynote here. This is for the Horsell Snow Angels.
Hi Sam, I'm sorry to interrupt. Yeah, I mean this will be the most quiet place so far on the conference. So I don't know if it's okay with you. I know if you can hear me.
Maybe you could try and put some headphones on.
Yeah, I'm with the headphones.
Okay. There's since we've got all set up with the presentation for a person here locally, why don't you stand by and we'll check in with you in 5 minutes? Is that all right?
Okay. Let me mute myself.
All right. Sorry. Yes, Helen, take it away.
Hi, I'm Helen Hammock, and and I run a startup in London. But this isn't it. This is a voluntary project that I lead in my village, which is outside Woking, which is southwest of London, outside the M25. So it's Surrey countryside. And the village is called Horsell. It's got 4,000 households, 9,000 people. As I say, it's just outside Woking, and it's got a really good community. I'm cutting off at the top, never mind. We've got a really nice community in Horsell. It's very sort of community-minded, lots and lots of people, different age groups, etc. And we identified that we've got a lot of elderly people who are normally completely fine with going about their business, doing their errands, doing shopping, walking the dog, etc., until you get really adverse weather. And when you get really adverse weather, like it's snowy and icy, or possibly, as recently, it floods, they find it much, much harder to do those everyday tasks. So we want to help them to stay in their own homes and stay independent, but in those adverse weather conditions, we want to find a way of making sure that other people can help them, which is why the Snow Angels came into existence. And this is my granddad, and he is kind of our target market. He's actually died now, which is really awful. But our target market is basically people who are fit normally, who are fairly fit normally, but probably in their 80s or 90s. And if they do fall on the ice or in the snow, then it can be fairly disastrous for them because of brittle bones, muscle wastage, etc. And it's really hard for them to get back on their feet. And so 2 years ago, we put out the word in the village, and we got about 130 volunteers signing up to be on our list of people who said that they want to help. Lots of people said, oh, if it snows, we'll be working from home, so that's fine. So normally I don't work from home. When it snows, I do work from home, so I can go out and do some errands for somebody local, which is great. So we've put lots of leaflets through people's doors. We've advertised it, well, we sort of marketed it in local magazine, etc. We've distributed fridge magnets, so we're pretty sure that lots and lots of people know about it. Unfortunately, it hasn't snowed. so we've kind of set up all of this infrastructure and all of these processes, and it hasn't snowed. And our volunteers are scattered around the village. We know where they are. We've got a big spreadsheet with who they are, etc. And basically, I'll tell you how it works in really very, very quickly. But what we want to do is automate this process, because at the moment it relies on spreadsheets and maps and people and sort of manual people sort of doing stuff. And most of the volunteers are themselves in their 60s, probably 50s, 60s, and even the early 70s. And so we've got to make it really, really, really easy for them to get involved and for it to run really smoothly. So what happens when it snows is we first activate the volunteers by sending them a text message, which we do through Text Tank, which is a text message service. It's got 130 volunteers who say, you know, are you around in Horsell now or later today? And then they all reply and say, usually yes, no, from 4 p.m, whatever. And then step 2 is we log their availability in a spreadsheet. Great. Step 3, we activate the hotline. So we've got one hotline, which is a virtual number, and it diverts. We make sure that it's diverting to the organisers for that day. So that may be 3 people who've got their phones on. So we do that fairly manually as well. And then we receive phone calls. We have actually run this and trialled it, and it does work. So our elderly clients would call us, or somebody might call them on their behalf and say, I'd like somebody to walk my dog, do my shopping, clear my drive, that kind of thing. And then next step is this is the really sort of manual bit. The organisers have to manually select a volunteer to do the job. So we look at the spreadsheet, look at the map, it's confusing, etc. We want to know who's available, are they near the client, are they prepared to do that kind of job, because some people will do dog walking, some people won't. And also, are they DBS checked, which means Criminal Records Bureau checked. For some of the little jobs that we want people to do, they really need to be DBS checked. They need to go into the houses of vulnerable people. So it's really manual at the moment. And then we contact the volunteer and say, hi, can you get some shopping? Mrs. Jones wants some shopping. And then we update the client, again, by calling them. So what we need is to sort of appify this, to just introduce some automation so that this is all happening in one place and that we can send text messages out the same place, receive those replies in a logical way, and that somehow automatically creates the information that we need to assign the volunteer to the job, etc. So make life less complicated for the organisers, and get away from a spreadsheet and using a spreadsheet plus text tank plus a virtual number, and see if we can put it all into one place in a fairly logical way. This isn't just about my village. Excuse me. We've had loads of interest because from Surrey County Council and Woking Borough Council who want to roll this out to other areas, but we've said, well, we can't really roll this out to other areas because it's just too manual at the moment. It's just too difficult to explain to other people. So if we could appify it, then we could roll it out to other areas, and this could be quite a big thing. And it doesn't have to be a mobile app as such. I'm more concerned about making it easy for the organisers, which means it's more of a web app, but there might be elements that suit a mobile app as well for the volunteers themselves. And we don't want to force the elderly clients to use really, really, really unfamiliar technology, so there's got to be some element of personal contact still in that process. Okay, this is the last slide. So what we can offer is, I'm involved in it really heavily, so I'm kind of very happy to spend as much time as necessary. There's a real need, there's lots of people. We've got 120 volunteers, 130 people who will trial it as soon as it snows, and even before it snows. We've got a fairly clear requirement, but on the other hand, there's quite lots of flexibility in how to deliver this. So there's a lot of design flexibility, lots of potential for you to get, just put your own stamp on it. And yeah, there's other locations that are keen to copy it. So this could be something that grows, that we test in one place and that grows. That's it. Any questions? So I think with my kind of, if I was building this as a, as a sort of fully fledged organisation, yes, absolutely. I mean, I think that's not the first priority, obviously, but yeah, I mean, if we can build in metrics on the back end to prove that we're doing some good, then that would be great. Yeah.
I just wanted to you mentioned that the elderly people might not have the technology that they're still going to phone calls and personal contact. But in terms of the volunteers, some of which you said are fairly elderly themselves. Or do you think that actually that's going to be the interesting thing? And is it going to be curated as a result? Or?
So I think if we can automate as much as possible for the volunteers and the organisers of the volunteers, if that makes sense. So there's 120 volunteers, then there's probably 6 people who will actually organise on the day. And if we can automate things as much as possible for those people, that's brilliant. I think we can't get away from the fact that we want the elderly people to probably call us because that's what they're used to.
The volunteers will all either be happy to use the internet or they'll have a smartphone.
Well, so either they'll have a smartphone or ideally we want to make it SMS based for them so that it's as easy as possible for those that might not have a smartphone. Well, I don't think that they all will have smartphones. We don't really want to make it completely smartphone dependent.
I wonder if we can take any more questions offline at the end. Just I've got
talk to me.
Yeah. I think Helen will be around. So yeah. All right. Thank you, Helen. So just going back, we'll see. I'll put the sound back on over here. Now, Ivana, how are your sound issues? We've got a little bit of time for you to present your project if you're interested. Can you hear us okay?
I can hear you okay. Can you hear me now?
We can. Sorry, I put you on too loud. We can. The sound, now that I've turned it down, sorry everyone, sounds much better. Yes, do you want to try and tell us about your Open IDEO project?
Oh, yes, please. If I can have the chance, will be awesome.
Yep, we're all here. We're all ready to go. Just, yeah, I mean, if you can't share your screen, I can bring up the link from the Open IDEO site.
No, don't worry. I have a presentation here. I will put it now. Can you see it?
Your screen is not being shared at the moment. You would need to start the screen share.
Yeah, it will take our time, but it's sharing. It says sharing.
Oh yeah, it says. Oh yeah, no, here it says it's just come up. Yes. No, go ahead. Everybody's listening. You can see your presentation. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. As Ray said, we came from the Open IDEO platform. We are the Barcelona team, Barcelona, Spain. And what we have done is we have been working on a project to help kids to discover their passion. So what we see here locally is that in Spain, 50% of the youth is unemployed. I mean, they don't know what to do, they don't know what to study, they are afraid to make the wrong decisions. We went through a lot of, we did a lot of polls, we talked a lot with a lot of young boys and girls. What they say is like they don't know what to do, and sometimes they are not interested, so they don't go to the universities. And this is making a very high drop-off rate here locally. So what we want to do is a platform to inspire. We aspire to inspire the young people to discover the passion in a meaningful way. How are we going to do this? Well, we want to give them a platform so they can look through different profiles of buddies. Buddies will be the professionals that are very enthusiastic and happy to share what they do and to give them like the real work experience for one day. So with these kind of activities, young people can, do many jobs as they feel attracted to until they find what they like. And the final part of our service is to help them to, to give them like a database of universities, institutions that they can go and study what they feel they like to be working. We support on the famous Benjamin Franklin said that, tell me and I forget, teach me and I might remember, and involve me and I will learn. So we think we need to involve the people, the young people, in the process of discovery, making them curious about what they like. Because sometimes you think, okay, I want to be a lawyer, and 2 years after you're studying, you realize you don't like to be a lawyer, you even didn't like the Constitution. So we people from the team have passed through this experience that you start studying something and then it's not what you think you were going to get, right? So the platform is very simple, just 3 things. The inspiration side, that is just like a database of professionals that you can, take a look. The matchmaking area, that we want to link your interests with our buddies. So we give you like options to people that you can make day jobs appointments. And then the mentorship, the academic offer. It will be like a database of institutions that are supporting us on this project. Well, this is what we are. We are a multidisciplinary team. One of our this idea in specific was chosen from a total of 166 proposals. I think 3 is as well in these numbers, and we want to implement it. So I have a journey. I'm sorry, this is not the journey here. I have a tiny journey, and I think you can see it here. And this is how we picture our platform. As you can see, we are not very techy on this area.
At the moment, we're just seeing the slideshow, the one-day experience. I don't know if are you trying to show us something in the web browser now?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Can you see now the?
No, we can't see the web browser. We can only see the Adobe Reader. So I think you might need to stop the screen share and start it for the entire screen, or specifically for the web browser.
Yeah, I have to do it again. Let me just give me 1 second, and I will share here.
That's a great photo that you have there, actually, with the. I guess that was like swimming in the freezing water or something.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
It's great personality. I think everybody's appreciating it here.
No, I don't think it's very.
Not to worry. Sorry for distracting you. If you're having trouble sharing that part of the screen, please send me the link to the page.
I think now you can see it.
Yeah, we've got everything now. Yes. Yes. Okay.
I'm gonna put the present again, and this is how we picture a little bit our journey.
Unfortunately, there we just lost the screen share again. I think if there's a web page that you want to show, you may need to send it to us.
Yeah, it was kind of more like the journey of the find, aspire, and explore. We just need like a website that is linked to these three databases. I don't know why you cannot see it. I'm so ashamed.
It's well, like Priyanka, you've presumably got a page in the Open IDO. So if we had that link, you've got 6.
Oh yeah. Then I can send you the link on the Hangout.
Then we can quickly see. I mean, I don't know about anybody else. I know that you want to help with youth unemployment, but I'm still a little unclear about what the precisely what kind of app you want or how it's different from Priyanka's.
Well, I actually don't know if Priyanka is involved in companies and schools, but what we want is that the kids can directly go to a database so they can find jobs that are inspiring for them and they can try it. You know, so they can be for one day doing the job with someone. So it's very practical. I mean, we will have to make some partnership with companies here, with freelancers, with entrepreneurs, so they can go for one day, try the work, do the real work, and then we will do the follow-up. You know, if you like it, if you don't like it, if you would like to study these kind of things. I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not very familiarized with platform. I will have to take a look. I don't know. But right now, for example, here in Barcelona, in Spain, we are having 2 pilots with 5 kids in 2 schools. I mean, right now it's just to validate the experience. That's our phase right now.
Yes, I think that makes sense. I mean, Priyanka's is about just finding opportunities, whereas your system is about meeting passionate professionals. It's about putting young people in touch with professionals who can give them some work experience for the day.
Yes, they have to do a one-day experience. Exactly. They have to work during 6 hours in every job they're interested in. I mean, we link them through the platform, but then you have to go to the real world, and you have to go to the company or to the office and do the work with a person. So I don't know if do the internship. I don't know.
Don't worry. We don't have to work out the exact relationship between Priyanka's app and your. I think your concept is there clear. I'm seeing it it's a directory that helps broker the professionals who might take on day experience students and those students, so those students can find those professionals, get in touch, and then have a good experience. Is what your system is about. Which sounds great.
That's our system is about.
Yeah, and I mean, thank you so much. I think the time that we have for presentations there is up, and that's all the presentations we have today. Now, Helen's here in person, and so students can come and talk to her afterwards. I guess if people want to talk to Ivanel or Priyanka, then come over and see us on the desk here, and we'll try and get you connected up in cyberspace, if that's the correct technical term for these things. Anything else to add? So we've got 3 different projects there in different parts of the world. We've got the 2 existing projects, and that's the come speak to Chris and Rich if you're interested in building on those. And yeah, any other questions about them? We've got this many students here.
If anyone have a question, I mean, right now I'm on a bathroom in a hotel, so I can have my time.
Okay, your audio quality has improved enormously. We really appreciate you getting into the bathroom.
I'm locked on a bathroom.
Yes. Well, Priyanka and Ivanel do hang around. Obviously, you've also got, I think we've got 5 or 6 other people attending remotely. So, we'll try and, you can obviously chat and text with them. But yes, I think that's that's where we are. Now, the way it works going forward is that, so this was the charity jamboree, and you've heard a number of ideas. We've got the shorter 1-minute quick-fire round jamboree at 3:30 today, where anybody can come and present an idea. And then ultimately, all of the ideas from the main jamboree and from this charity jamboree will go into a form, which will go out at some point after 4:30, I guess. And all the Maker students will be able to vote on which of their favorite ideas. There will be 2 rounds of voting, but ultimately we're going to narrow it down to about, I think, 5 or 6 projects. And you know, if we're lucky, some of the charity things will be in there, but it's all up for grabs. There we go. And unless anybody has any outstanding questions, we can call that a wrap. All right. Thank you very much. Let's thank all our speakers. Great stuff. Thanks, everyone. And I'll take the big microphone off. Right. Hey there, guys. So that's Ivanel. It's going to get a bit noisy in here. So you can ask more questions. I'm just wondering about the. Maybe we need to go into a meeting room. Is one of the meeting rooms free? Maybe we'll go. I'm just going to take the computer into a different room here, guys, for some people who want to ask you questions. So stand by. Hopefully it won't all break. Oh goodness! All right, here we go. Whee! Right, I'm carrying you all here. You actually get a little tour at the inside of Makers Academy here. There's the ping pong table. And gonna go and find a quiet meeting room. Dun, 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 dun. Here we go. Right. So,
I have a question about one-day experience. Would we start off with the app being in English, and then it would be translated to Spanish or Catalan later, or?
Well, we can make it in Spanish, and if we can have it in English, would be awesome because of the very high diversity we have here in Barcelona. That is where we actually are all the team based. But we would like to have it in Spanish and then in English. Catalan right now is not like our priority because we know it's a lot of development and you have to do a lot of work. So I think 2 idioms, two languages will be fine. If we can have Catalan, it will be awesome. We will love it. So I mean, you are helping us, so we are not gonna demand it at the first time.
Well, I think Viviana. Where are you from, Viviana? Barcelona. From Barcelona. So we have a Barcelona student.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So I could do the Catalan part.
That would be awesome. We are doing the pilot in Europa International School, that is very international. Then we have another one in Madrid called IDEO, and then we have a third pilot with the people of Inspirat. That is a Catalan community that are helping kids that are on the exclusion risks. So we have like 3 different profiles on the pilots.
And do you have already people, like professional people that could give like these people to be able to come to their companies and work for 1K? Do you already have?
We are looking right now, we are waiting for the students to give us the options they want because we are validating the whole journey. So at the beginning we need them to give us 3 options they want to try, and then we are going to talk to the companies. We have some of the bodies already, and the thing is, like, they need to see this as a responsibility. I don't know how they call it. Social responsibility. And these companies, well, this goes through human resources, and they approve the project, and then they can participate. Because, I mean, we are going to take from their job like 4 or 5 hours. And, you know, this in Spain is critical. But, I mean, it has a revenue, and universities, we are talking to universities so they can see the value in these hours, you know, they are going to invest with the kids.
So you're already running this?
We are already on the pilot phase. I mean, we are looking for some kind of, for some bodies, and then we are waiting for the other students to give us the options they want to try.
Okay.
But you're confident that you will get a good number of buddies?
I think we are, and we are sharing the project in some kind of activities, and there is more people coming like, I would love to be a buddy, because it was awesome if I could have the option to try myself like 10 years, 20, 12, 15 years ago. I'm sure I will not be working on what I'm doing right now. And the main purpose is to open them a range of opportunities, because it's not only making engineers and administrator, other people. I mean, there are a lot of more options, and there are a lot of more professions we need. And yeah, we're very confident. We also said that we cannot give you an opportunity to go to Barcelona Football Club or to go to La NASA, these kind of things. We are very limited. But we hope we can get some time. I mean, we are very sure this will be a nice project for us. I mean, we're positive about it.
Quinn, did you have any questions?
No, just interested, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much, Ivanel. Did anybody have any questions for Priyanka about her projects? The social get work. Yeah, I think it was all fairly clear. Yeah. Are you still there, Priyanka?
I think I'm here.
Hey, Priyanka. Yes. Well, thanks so much, Priyanka and Ivanel, for presenting your projects. Well done winning the Open IDO thing. That's obviously a very prestigious step forward for you. And yeah, I'll make sure that all of the materials related to your projects get distributed to the students. And yes, if you're lucky, we'll be back in touch with a team of students wanting to work with you.
Great.
I would love to.
All right. Lovely. All right. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much. I have to leave the bathroom because I'm locked in the bathroom.
Indeed you do. Indeed you do. Thanks so much.
It's true. I have to show it to you. I mean, it's horrible, but it's true. There's a bathroom.
There we go.
I couldn't be in another place because there's so much noise.
Right. It looks like a nice bathroom. Do enjoy the rest of your stay in the hotel. All right. Bye for now. Take care.